Good morning and welcome to day 12 of JanuDAILY. I am very quickly going to get ready, and I mean like very quickly going to get ready. And then I think I figured out something I want to do that's going to make me feel a little bit better about the manicure I did the other day. I like them, they're fine. The nail art was a fail. And it really kind of broke my heart and it made me very sad because now they're very cute, but they're not like, I don't know, they don't have any nail art to them. But I found these little like glittery thingies. It's like a chunky glitter. And I think I'm now going to turn this very basic manicure into a Valentine's Day themed manicure. So we're gonna see if that actually works. But first, I'm just going to run my little, I don't know, heated brush tool through my hair. If you saw yesterday's vlog, then you know I just like rough dried my hair last night and then I threw my hair into like a very high pony with a silk scrunchie and sleep with my little bonnet on. You guys are not sleeping with a bonnet on. I know it feels silly. I know it feels silly. It's so worth it. 1000% worth it. Like, it has made such a difference in how my hair looks day to day and how much longer I'm able to get out of a blow dry, or even if you don't blow dry your hair, out of a style. It just makes such a difference. Plus it's very good to prevent your hair from damaging. But this is that Wavy Talk heated brush. I think it's like 40 bucks. I really like it. It just adds a little life and like sleekness to my hair, gives that like blowout look, but I don't feel like I have to like overly damage my hair, which is awesome because I'm not like keeping heat on it very long. But you can see it just like adds a little something to my hair. So I'm gonna very quickly run this through and then maybe pop on a little bit of makeup. Not really sure if that's necessary because, again, just going on a walk, that seems to be like my Sunday thing to do now, but it's necessary because your girl needs to get outside, desperately needs to get outside. I've been a very inside girl the last week because of the weather, and honestly it's still really cold out right now, but at least there's not ice on the ground like there has been the last couple of days. And honestly, that's one of the things that I miss the most about being an active runner is like, sure, I loved running and I love like what running did for my body, but honestly, I just miss the consistency in which I was spending more time outside. And I just don't know if it's in the cards for me to be a runner again. I'm kind of afraid to get running again after my back injury last year. Like that'll knock you down a couple pegs. But I also really enjoy walking, and walking is equally good for you and equally a great motivator to get outside. The only thing is though, I have the walking pad, and so it's not 1000% necessary to get outside. And right now, honestly, despite the fact that the child always wants to be outside, we have a really great fenced in backyard that I can see from the kitchen when I'm in there. And so like a lot of times I'll just let him go play outside while I'm like getting stuff done in the kitchen so I can like keep an eye on him. So even that isn't always a reason to be outside. And there really is just something to getting that fresh air. So I gotta figure out a way to like make that more of a routine for me. We'll figure out if we can get there or not. But all right, I'm gonna very quickly finish doing my hair and I'll come back once I've made up my mind about whether or not I'm doing makeup. We'll see. I did decide to do my makeup just very quickly. I'm gonna throw on my usual stuff. So I'm not gonna really talk about what it is that I'm using, but it will all be linked below because I've definitely shared it a few times on here already. But I was just thinking about the fact that last weekend when I went on a walk with my friend, is it sad that sometimes I can't tell if something is my child or my cat? But having a Maine Coon cat is like, anyway, when I went for a walk with my friend last weekend, which I also just saw a TikTok that said that this girl's friend is a therapist, and the therapist friend told her that if people went on walks with their friends more often, she would be out of a job, because a lot of times it's not even the friend necessarily or the therapist necessarily that you need to talk to. It's just that you need to talk things out. And y'all, I could not agree with that more. if you can find like a friend, like a trusted friend that you can just kind of blab to, whether they're really listening or not, I don't even know if it matters. But I will say that there is so much that comes from being able to talk through a situation. And I've been in therapy before, and my experience with it, and this is not to like undermine the value and training of a therapist, because there's more to it than what I'm about to say. But I will say that like by the end of my sessions, I was essentially getting myself to the place that she was trying to guide me. Obviously the guidance was necessary and important, but by time, it was almost like my therapist taught me how to talk through a situation to get myself to where I needed to be, and taught me like the principles that I just needed to remind myself of to kind of keep front of mind. And sometimes that's what's happening when you're like talking with a therapist, is you're just essentially being reminded of the things you already know and like reconfirming and reaffirming those things. All of that to say that when I was talking to my friend last week, she was mentioning something kind of along the lines, I think I shared in one of my recent videos, that like I had a friend who said that she doesn't really think of me as somebody who struggles. And I found that really strange, because I've struggled a lot in my life. My life has not, it's not been rainbows and butterflies. I don't know anybody's life who has been, but like, I feel like in certain circumstances, I've been dealt a harder hand than others. And it just really kind of surprised me that my friend said that to me. It was kind of a compliment, to be honest, the way that she framed it. But I was bringing it up to my other friend, and she was like, no, I could see that, because you have a tendency to kind of just face everything with positivity. I'll be right back. I think my kid's awake. Yeah, he was definitely awake. He's supposed to be napping. He was definitely awake. Anyway, she was saying that she also could agree with that, because I tend to face things really positively. And I will say that like my natural disposition has always been that way. Like I've always just had a very naturally sunny disposition. That being said, it doesn't mean it always comes easily, and that I don't sometimes sink into the like standard. I mean, I've been there a lot in the last like couple of years, honestly. But I wanted to kind of offer you some, I don't know, like comfort about those kinds of situations, and why I find it beneficial to come at them from a positive place, or to stay semi-positive in the midst of those kinds of situations. As somebody who has been in her fair share of really painful and unexpected and life-altering circumstances in my adult life, I can say confidently it always works out. It always works out. The way that I think of it is like, God hasn't ever let me down before, and I've not seen like a really painful and crappy situation not eventually be used for my own good. And while I can't understand it in the moment, usually cannot at all understand it, I know with certainty that there will come a point where I'm like, oh, that worked out quite nicely now, didn't it? In fact, I have a whole book outlined about all of the various situations we've been in our adult lives that in the moment seemed real awful. Like, can't see the end of the tunnel real bad, and have landed us or put us in a situation where later we're having a conversation and we're like, well, that worked out quite nicely now, didn't it? And I can tell you that having been in that situation a few times, there's something that almost happens now when like something bad is entering into my life, or I feel like a circumstance is about to like fall apart, or the general standard like, oh, my life is crumbling down around me feeling, that like I almost get like a little bit excited. That's a weird thing to admit, because who gets excited that their life is falling apart? But I almost get a sense of excitement, because I know something big is about to like change or be different, and it'll be something that I couldn't have anticipated for myself. I couldn't have forced it to happen for myself. It's not something that I would have figured out how to get to without this big, terrible, awful thing happening. And so it's not easy to remain positive. Trust me, I know. Like when your heart is literally shattered into 1,000,001 pieces, it's not like you feel naturally like, oh, this feels great. Or like you're staring down the barrel of like financial ruin, or one of my favorite examples is you've given up your housing for a job that's supposed to be happening 10 hours away from your home that you're living in, that you've already given up, only to find out you did not in fact get said job. And now you have 1 week to find a new place to live, find another job. Like, there have been so many moments in the last 15 years that I could look at and say like have been scary AF, like big time scary. And again, every single time something swooped in that we couldn't have anticipated. And I really do believe that part of the reason things end up always working out so well is because of the maintained positivity that like underneath all the fear and like insecurity and like pain, underneath all of that, the consistency is like this positive thought of like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It has to, right? Like sometimes the only thing you can tell yourself is that it's going to work out because it has to. And I, like I said, have been in that situation so many times that now it's just kind of ingrained in me that like, it's gonna work out because it has to. You don't have any other choice. And so because of that, this is where we get into like faith or like the woo-woo stuff, which I'm not telling you to take any certain type of stance. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. I also believe in like a spirituality of things. I believe in synchronicities. I believe you can be like more intuitive as long as you're like willing to tune into it. And I'm not saying like go visit a tarot card reader, but like, I don't know. I believe in a higher power and I believe in God, and I believe that ultimately things will work out in our favor. And I certainly believe in the power of positive thinking and that you find what you're looking for. Whatever it is, you find what you're looking for. And I can confirm that when I've been in states of negativity, what I find is negativity. When I've been in a positive place or mindset of positivity, I find positivity. When I'm in a mindset of negativity, I draw in more negativity. When I'm feeling positive, I tend to draw in more positive things, more positive people, more positive experiences, more positive outcomes, whatever it is, right? And so while it really surprised me to hear what my friend had to say about being someone who she doesn't really ever think of as struggling, I struggle. Every human being struggles. We all have things going on in our lives that nobody knows anything about. And I want to make that extremely clear, because right now you might think you know what's going on in my life because I've been vlogging literally every single day for the last month. You don't know whatever is going on in somebody's life. You know what they're allowing you to see. You know what they're sharing. Everybody has something that you know nothing about. Remember that. When you're interacting with the human world, just know that everybody has something. Be kind. There are things in people's lives that are hard and painful, and they will likely never discuss them in a social media aspect. That being said, obviously, I struggle, but I also truly believe in the power of positivity. And if I can leave you with any, look at these little baby hairs. See, all that positivity is just radiating right out of my head. Anyway, what I was gonna say is if you can't take anything else from my channel, you know what, let me do my eyebrows and then I'm gonna finish with what I'm gonna say, because I want to be looking at you when I say this. If you take nothing else from my channel at all, ever, take this. Everything always works out, and what you look for, you will find. Take, for instance, the whole Spencer Pratt, Heidi Pratt house burning in the fire situation. They are experiencing something awful, truly devastating. I don't care who you are. I don't care what type of money you've made in your life. I don't care what celebrity status you have. Unexpectedly losing your home all in one fell swoop, whether it's from the hurricane, fires, whatever it is. We've experienced a lot of natural disasters in the last little while. That's awful and truly devastating. I wouldn't be able to crawl out of a hole for 6 years after that. And Spencer is basically documenting this whole situation on TikTok, right? And his mindset about it and his approach about it is really almost healing for something inside of me, where he's coping with it really well, and he has a sense of humor about things, and he's looking for the positive in the moment, and they kind of jokingly were like, stream Heidi's music, you know, buy my crystals, whatever. Like, he's making use of the resources available to them. And overnight, Heidi's album is like #1 on iTunes 15 years after it released. All of his crystals are sold out on his website. And in the midst of this horrible devastation, they have things to celebrate. And I saw a quote that I really think is super powerful in this, and it actually really relates even to like my situation with TikTok and turning something really horrible and heartbreaking and painful and devastating into something to celebrate. Is things tend to work out the best for those who make the best of how things work out. Do with that what you want, but I'm going to repeat it because it's worth repeating. Things tend to work out the best for those that make the best out of how things work out. I have no idea if this is a mistake or not. I'm like split. I'm in two minds of whether this is like a super great idea and it's gonna make me feel really happy about my nails for the next month that I have them on, or I'm gonna be so frustrated by it that I end up just taking the whole manicure off by the end of the week. But either way, let's give this a go. I have these little heart sequins and I'm gonna rough up a few of my nails just to kind of give something for everything to stick to. I'm gonna use the base coat. I'm going to use a dotting tool to pick up the sequins. I'm gonna stick the sequins into the base coat on a few nails, and then I'm gonna do a float coat, or like a slip coat of builder gel over top to encapsulate the gel. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm gonna try it again on this finger. This is what it looks like done. I think it's fine, but it is awfully chunky. I'm gonna try a little bit of a different method on this finger. So for this method, I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm gonna add a base coat, I'm gonna add the sequins, and then I'm gonna flash cure it / press it down with this little portable flash cure lamp. And then I'm gonna do the slip coat and see if maybe I can get the sequins to sit a little more flush, because I can still feel like the edges of the sequins on this nail, which often means that they're gonna peel up at some point. So I'm gonna try that method on this finger. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was not the way to go. It's cute, but it was kind of a fail. I think this is something that I would have to do from the start to avoid like some of the issues I'm running into. But it is at least cute, and it's given me an idea for my next manicure, but probably not my best execution. Today has been such a good day. This weekend has actually been just a really good weekend all around, and I loved that we got to be outside today, and ended up actually, like, while we were in the middle of our walk with my friend, my sister and my niece popped in, so we actually got to go to the playground with them, which was really fun, and the kids played really well together, which is always really nice. And especially if you have a child that is very, very social, but suffers a little bit with the social interaction, which is just a whole thing. That's just a whole thing. Then you can understand how wonderful it is when like a play date just goes really, really well. Sorry, my dog just will not stop licking. If you have golden retrievers, do they ever stop licking? Or is this just like an all the time thing? Because I'm pretty sure it's an all the time thing. Hi, bud. You've gotta stop licking. But anyway, we are getting ready for bed. The little is down, which is great. He went down so easy tonight, which is very exciting because tomorrow is his first day of school, provided that there's not a delay, which I guess there very well could be. If there's a delay, then there's no preschool, but I don't know that there'll be a delay. The roads seem fine. Those, again, in the north are probably like, what are you even talking about? It's just the way we function. We're not prepared for this kind of weather at all. So when there's any kind of weather like this, it's just a struggle all around. But yeah, he starts preschool tomorrow with his very new program. I'll talk a little bit more about that and like what this whole journey and experience has been like. So if you are a parent to a toddler that you have been researching probably since they're 9 months old, I would guess, whether they have a speech delay or if they potentially have autism or all of these various different things. You've probably gone through several evaluations or you're thinking about going through evaluations. You might want to tune in for tomorrow's video. It'll be probably a tough one for me to record, but I think an important one nonetheless. And I did have a friend message me. I have to first say, I don't know why it doesn't really ever occur to me when I'm doing anything, vlogging, writing books, blogging, social media, any of these things, that it's my IRL people who are just like the first to be so supportive and so loyal. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like current Joey wants to like travel back in time to past Joey and just sit her down and be like, hey, like really good people are on their way into your life. These people suck. They're not really your friends. They're not good people. They're not supportive. They have ulterior motives. We've all been there. We've all had friend groups like that just love to treat you like garbage. So it's just always a surprise to me when my IRL people are as supportive as they are. And so those of you who are like my real in life friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for always clicking on my videos and watching them all the way through, even though, good Lord, why are you listening to me yap for 30 minutes? I don't know. Also, very clingy dog, like super clingy dog. But I did have an IRL friend, I did promise to keep her anonymous, ask me to show my bedtime bonnet routine, which seems like the craziest words that have possibly ever come out of my mouth. But they watched yesterday's video, which was technically today's video, and they were like, what do you mean that you throw your hair in a scrunchie and then put a bonnet on? So I'm gonna show you. I cannot believe I'm going to be putting this on the internet, but also I've embarrassed myself on the internet a million times before. It's fine. I'm gonna show you what that looks like now. I can't believe I'm putting this on the internet. So I've already sprayed my dry shampoo into my hair, or like pumped my dry shampoo in my hair. And now I just flip my head over, gather it loosely, not really at the base. I have a silk scrunchie. I think I got these ones from Walmart, maybe. Very loose, like very loose on the top of my head. I do have these little pieces that fall out in the back here. It's my postpartum hair regrowth. It someday will match the rest of my hair. That day is not today. It's just not. Okay, so now, oh dear. I have one that ties. I do not know if I do this correctly. So if you also wear a bonnet and you're watching me do this and you're like, Joey, no, tell me your ways and I will change what I'm doing. I'm guessing. So I flip my bonnet upside down and I like collect my hair into it. And then I flip it over. Sometimes I feel like I'm a chef, which in another life, maybe. So then I twist, I take the tie bit, I cross it over in the back, and then I bring it up over the top here and just tie it. Sometimes I end up with a little crease from the like elastic. Sometimes I don't. It just sort of depends. If that happens, I just spray a little bit of water in my hair and it's fine. Am I gonna end the video looking like this? Yeah, I am. I have zero stream, it's fine. This thing has been wonderful. I'll link it down below. I love it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here, especially my IRL people. I love you. Thank you for always being so supportive. And you know what? Actually, special shout out to those of you that don't know me. That's extra special to me too, because you're somebody now that I want to know. So connect, comment below, tell me a little bit about yourself, because I love that you're here and I just want to build a very joyful community of support and love and encouragement, and whatever we can do to make the world a happier place, then let's do that. So thank you guys for being here. If you resonated with this content at all, or you just think we're the kind of people that could be friends with one another, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Again, tell me something about yourself. I want to get to know you. I feel like you're getting to know me a little bit through these videos. I want to get to know who you are so I can specifically speak to you and just be the kind of person that offers you a place that feels like home and a little bit like a warm, cozy corner of the internet. So anyway, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.